Welcome to Living Healthy Chicago. I'm Jane Klaus. Let's start things off today talking about GERD. It's a health condition that affects millions of Americans. It's uncomfortable and it can become a serious issue if it's left untreated. So I met up with gastroenterologist Dr. Nikos Christopolous to get a better understanding of GERD and what you can do to find relief. Dr. Christopolous, thank you so much for joining us today. Let's start by answering the question, what is GERD?
Well, Jane, GERD is an acronym for gastroesophageal reflux disease, and that's symptoms from acid moving up out of our stomach up into our esophagus, which is the muscular tube that transfers food from our mouths into our stomach. GERD is very common. I think it's probably underdiagnosed, if you will. I bet many people probably don't mention it to their doctors, but I think somewhere in the range of 20 to 40% of people, especially in the United States, probably have symptoms of GERD.
So a lot of people have heard of GERD, and a lot of people have heard of acid reflux. Are they related or one and the same?
Well, they're essentially almost one and the same, but acid reflux is somewhat of a symptom of GERD. Acid reflux is a component of GERD, and that's when the flow of acid or the digestive mix, if you will, can move its way up the esophagus into either your throat or your mouth. It can give you that bitter taste or sense of regurgitation or even sour taste in your mouth.
Okay, so talk about the symptoms of GERD.
Well, some of the symptoms of GERD, most commonly heartburn, or like we were just talking about, when things move all the way up into your throat. There's other symptoms that can happen. There can be a cough, there can be chest pain, frequent throat clearing, you can be hoarse in your voice.
What causes GERD?
Well, GERD is typically caused by the lower part of the esophagus either relaxing too much or too frequently. And that muscle, if it relaxes too much, it allows acid to come up into our esophagus and sometimes cause symptoms.
If they don't take care of it or they don't get help, what can happen?
Well, GERD can have many complications, and some of the things can be ulcerations in the esophagus, and these ulcerations can cause bleeding. The ulcerations can scar down the esophagus and cause a narrowing in the esophagus where if you try to eat food, the food might not pass and might get stuck in the chest. And also, it can lead to a precancerous condition, something called Barrett's esophagus.
So when is it time to see a professional? When should we seek help?
I think it's important to see a doctor if you're having frequent symptoms or if you've had them for a long time. If your symptoms are severe or intense and you've not had them for that long, if you're taking medications for it and they're not getting better. There's a procedure called an upper endoscopy, and that's commonly used to assess acid reflux and assess if there's any complications of it. They're in a very comfortable sort of twilight type sleep, and we pass a flexible camera down their throat into their esophagus, into the stomach. If they have bleeding, sometimes we can treat the bleeding. If there's a narrowing, we can stretch that narrowing over.
Treatment for the person who has infrequent acid reflux, what can they do to manage?
Well, certainly diet and lifestyle is critical in managing most health problems. Losing weight is really important. It'll help with symptoms of GERD. Elevating the heads of our bed, and that helps gravity work in your favor to control symptoms of reflux. Avoiding alcohol, quitting smoking. You know, our saliva is important in actually clearing acid from our esophagus, and smoking dries out our mouths. Avoiding heavy tomato sauces, heavy cream sauces, chocolate, and unfortunately coffee as well. I think it's important to remember that GERD is very common, and if anybody has any concerns or any worries about some of their symptoms, they should see their physician.
Great information. Thank you so much, Dr. Christopolous.
Thank you.
All right, if you want more information into the world of health, just head to our website, livinghealthytv.com. So if you like this video and you want more Living Healthy, just subscribe to our channel. We're happy you're here.